Welcome to another episode of the All Pop No Culture podcast. It's just me this week. Everybody's out. Andrew was sort of around, but was exhausted, so I gave him the day off without pay, which is fine because every day is without pay around here. But today I thought I'd do something different, or start with something different. I'm going to do a little bit of a product placement ad kind of thing. Not endorsed. I'm not making any money off of it. So this is 100% my own opinion and all that jazz. But as everybody that has watched for a while knows, at least that a little bit, that I enjoy video games. And I have had the Xbox or Microsoft Game Pass Ultimate, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for a long time. I've probably spent way too much money on it, considering that I never use it. I don't have a current generation Xbox. I have the Xbox One, and that's kind of being phased out and things like that. So I haven't touched that. I've been heavy on the PS5 and enjoying that, and it's been really great. Recently, there was a Black Friday sale on a device called Backbone. This little guy right here, and I gotta say this, it's like the coolest thing that I have purchased in a long time. For the Black Friday sale, it was 30% off, so it was only $70. I don't know if that sale is still going on. If you game and have an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, or PlayStation 5, actually, it's really worth it. This was $70 again. I would show you how my iPhone fits in here, because the idea is you stretch this guy out, pop your iPhone in, plugs into the little jack here. I have USB-C, so if you do decide to get one, make sure you get one that goes with your phone. A lot of phones still have Lightning, or if you have an Android phone, I believe those are USB-C. Make a white one that has PS4 controls. I knew that the purpose for buying this was to play Xbox games, so I got the Xbox controller. I might still play PlayStation stuff, and I just have to pay attention to the buttons. The layout's the same on both controllers. Primarily for the PlayStation 1, it's white. The button scheme is PlayStation instead of Xbox. But otherwise, it's the same thing. And it's got headphone jack and USB-C plug-in, so that'll actually charge your phone while you're playing, which is cool too. But anyways, I got that, and like I said, it was $70. It's only $100 anyways, so it's not the worst deal in the world. It is excellent game controller. It will work with any Apple game that has a controller or that requires a controller, so you can use it for that too. But what's cool about the Backbone is that on top of the device itself, it comes with an app, and that app kind of organizes the games that you can play. So if you have Game Pass Ultimate, which is I think only $17 a month, $18 a month, something like that, you can play Microsoft's cloud library. And so I knew this when I purchased this, and so one of the games that is on there is Starfield behind me, which is one of the biggest games of the year. It's been a hit. It's been really popular. In the earlier part of the year, there was a lot of talk about it being Game of the Year or having a chance at Game of the Year. I don't even think it's up for Game of the Year at this point anymore, but it's kind of been uprooted by some bigger names. But I can see why it was, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what's cool is because it is cloud streaming, it doesn't install on my phone. It runs straight off the cloud on my phone. So I'm playing this game without having to install it. It just boots up to the cloud. My save is saved up there through Xbox. And what is cool is it actually, when I'm not playing on the Backbone, when I have the house to myself or the TV downstairs to myself, and I'm between things to do, I can actually fire up the Xbox, my old Xbox, not the new one, my Xbox One, play the game on there through the cloud streaming also, and play it on the big screen. And it's the same save and everything, so I can go back and forth. I can play it on my phone, on my Backbone to go, and all that. So as far as a gaming device and what it does, it's really cool. PlayStation, Sony just put out their portable device, which works over Wi-Fi, and it's bigger. Like it's pretty beefy. It's got a bigger screen than your iPhone does, but it's like $200, $250, something like that. And this is only $100 and kind of does the same thing. Then it's really cool. I mean, it's obviously a smaller screen. I just have the regular iPhone. I don't have the Max. So if you have a Max or one of the larger screens on an Android, it probably looks even better. But the cool thing is it's not using really any graphics chip on the phone or anything like that. It's taking it directly from the cloud, streamed from Microsoft servers, and it plays pretty great as long as you have a good internet connection. I've had a few issues here and there, and I know from where I live that's because of the internet, not because of the game. And so it's been really cool. So I recommend, if you enjoy gaming, go out, get yourself a Backbone. It says right there, you can buy it from their website. They have it at Best Buy. I saw the PlayStation 1 at Costco today, actually. So they are out there. They're easy to find. I think they sell them at Walmart and maybe even Target, maybe GameStop. But I know Best Buy does because that's where I got it for the Black Friday sales. So very cool. If you game, if you have an Xbox, like I said, Game Pass Ultimate, that's the one that allows you to play cloud games. On the PS5, I think there's cloud games that you can stream also. So if you have your PlayStation Pro or PlayStation Plus subscription, you can get that too. I have that also. I get a lot of games for free for that anyways. And I believe that on the PlayStation app, I haven't even dove into that yet, but I believe you can remote play. So if you have a game installed on your PlayStation and you're in a different room of the house, or somebody's watching TV or something like that, you can actually remote play on your phone on this device and not have to bother anybody and still play your game. So really cool. Like really, I've had a blast with it. It's been really, really fun and kind of re-sparked my interest in some of the games that I had been avoiding. And when I have had scheduling issues or people, my kids want the TV or something like that, it gives me an option to play without having to tell them no. So give it a shot. Anyways, so one of the whole reasons that I got it is because Starfield's out. Starfield came out this year. If you go buy Starfield, it's like $70. So I spent what I would have spent on the Backbone or on the game on the Backbone and started playing. And it's a really cool game. Funny enough, I'll get into this in a few minutes, but this game is created by Bethesda Games, who created some of the Fallout games. And this is very much in the same vein in the way that it plays. This one takes place in space. It's a far future game. You're recruited by this organization called Constellation. They need your help searching for these artifacts that have these cool properties. And so you're off on adventures out in space. I don't want to give away too much of the story. There's some really cool story elements to it. And it starts to give away some of the big secrets about 2/3 of the way through the game that I definitely don't want to give away. But I will say that if you're familiar with games, a lot of games these days have a feature called New Game Plus, where you can restart the game after you've beat it and pick up with your character kind of where he was. So in some games, you get all your equipment. You start over with all of your stuff. So you start off kind of super powered, or you start off with your skills that you leveled up, or skins or whatever. There's things that you get out of a New Game Plus, but usually it's just that, like, you have your stuff and then you play the same game exactly as it is, or maybe there's like a little change here or there. Starfield has actually within the game has a reason for New Game Plus to exist. And so when you start over, you don't get all of your stuff, but you do get your skills and a couple of special things to start over. But otherwise, you start the story. And what's really cool is on subsequent playthroughs, the game changes. There's different dialogue options, different things you can do. So the game changes in New Game Plus, which I think is really cool. It's one of the few games that gives you a reason to replay it within the story itself. The only other one that I could think of is called Nier Automata, which is a fantastic game, and I recommend it. But I think I've talked about it before, or I'll talk about it again at some point. That's not the point today. But Starfield's really cool. You create your character. You go through the initial mission. Like I say, you get recruited by this organization, and then it's open world. You can progress through the main story kind of at your own pace. There's a bunch of side missions that are really easy to find and do. It's a space exploration game. It's not as huge as something like No Man's Sky, which is a really big open world game. So it's not quite that big. Like, it's a little more structured than that. But you can go to other planets. You can build outposts. You can mine. You can try and make money. All this stuff. So there's things within the game that are very entertaining that aren't even the main story or even really like combat or story based at all. But then the story itself is actually really cool. It's really deep. And then on top of that, much like the Fallout games, there's various factions that you can fall in with, and they have their own storylines. One of them is a pirate organization, so you can kind of become a little space pirate. One organization is like the United Colonies, so it's sort of like a UN kind of idea, and they they're a peacekeeping organization, so you can fall in with them, all kinds of stuff. And there's tons of different ships you can buy, so you can travel further, you can travel faster, you can have better weapons, more storage for all your stuff. Those are fully customizable. Externally, you can upgrade them however you want, and like I said, different ships have different attributes and different sizes and things like that. There's a few places in the game where you can have your own house, so you can, if you're one of those people that's into like the aesthetics of a game, you can decorate your house and have storage in the house, so it's another place to store your stuff during the game so you don't lose it. In games like this, you have an inventory, so there's only so much stuff you can carry before you can't carry anymore, or it's harder for you to play because you're carrying too much stuff. So you can either drop it and lose it, sell it, or in this case, store it on your ship or in your house. But it's really cool. I think if you played Starfield on the PC, like if you have a really great gaming PC, or probably actually on a new gen console, probably looks a little better than what it looks like on the cloud gaming. I have seen some of the PlayStation, or sorry, the PC video, and it looks really great. And to be fair, like it looks great on here. It looks cool on my little phone. It's the best looking thing I've played on there. So I can't argue with that. But yeah, I mean, if you're a gamer, and you don't have Game Pass Ultimate or something like that, it's worth buying. It's $70. So I think it's only on Xbox and PC right now. One thing I forgot to say about Game Pass Ultimate is that it does allow you to play on any PC, and I believe that you can play through a browser. So I think you can actually play on your Mac too, if you're a Mac player, because again, it doesn't download anything, doesn't run anything on your computer. It's basically streaming it. You will need a controller that your computer can see. So that'll make a difference for you. And yeah, so Starfield's super dope. So I'm really enjoying, like I've been super hooked. I don't really want to say how many hours I put into it in the last like week and a half, but it's been a crap ton of hours. And it really has been immersive. Like I'm really into it. So it's been a lot of fun. And so I definitely recommend it to anybody that likes the open world kind of games. It's a little bit of an RPG. So you're building your character as you go and all that stuff, but it's a lot of fun. So like I said earlier, this game was created by Bethesda, who created the Fallout games. Well, Fallout, if you are up on your trailers, and if you're not, hopefully I will have some video playing behind me at some point here so you can get a glimpse of it. But next year, Amazon Prime is doing a Fallout TV show, and it looks pretty friggin' incredible. Fallout is very much like Starfield in the way that it plays, where you go out, there's factions, you're building a character, you're following a story that can change depending on the things you do in the game. So it's really cool. But the Fallout TV show is a live action show. And if you've ever played a Fallout game or ever seen a Fallout game, this looks like 100% loyal to the game. Like the costumes are very Fallout looking. They look like the vault suits, and the aliens, or the not aliens, sorry, the monsters, the mutations and things like that out there on the earth are out there. If you're not a gamer, I think Fallout will be really fun to watch. I almost think it's better to go in kind of without some prior knowledge and just kind of take it in. I think the nice thing about the Fallout games is each one is different, and this show looks like it's different. The characters don't really matter, and they don't necessarily tie into each other. There are some ancillary characters that carry over. I think the character in the TV show played by Walton Goggins is called the Ghoul, and I believe the Ghoul has been in more than one game, so that's kind of a cool one. You have the battle suits in there that look really cool. It looks exactly like a Fallout game. It is incredible, and I hope the story is as good as the show looks. It doesn't look like it's going to have the complaint that I had about Halo, although it would actually fit in Fallout where it didn't fit in Halo. One of my problems with Halo is that it's somehow on some planet, however many centuries in the future, and however far away, there was a 1990s Chevy Suburban with the Chevy logo and everything, and it drove me bonkers, and I couldn't get over it because I'm that guy. Um, so this one, it just, I mean, it looks fantastic. Like I said, hopefully I'll have the trailer behind me. If not, go to YouTube, look up Fallout TV trailer. It just, like I said, just came out today, which is Saturday the 2nd. By the time this drops, it'll be Wednesday or something like that. So it'll have been out for a little bit, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think it looks awesome. So I'm super stoked for it. And yeah, so that's my gaming bit and all the gaming stuff around it. So I will shut up about games and move on to things that I've watched this week. One thing that me and my kids sat down and watched this week, and we're caught up. There's still one episode to go. On Netflix, they have the Squid Game, what do they call it? The Squid Game competition. I think there's another word in the title, but it's effectively a live action Squid Game, to the degree that everybody has, if you watch movies and people get shot, what you see in real life is called a squib. It explodes and looks like blood. So this is all real people playing the game, trying to win $100,000. Starts with 456 people. The person that wins is going to get $4.5 million. It's crazy. It's a buttload of money. Everybody goes in, and the first game is exactly like the first game in the Squid Game TV show, to a point. It's basically it's not Red Rover. There's whatever game it is that you a red light, green light is the game I'm looking for. So it's basically a game of red light, green light, and they have that huge doll that kind of turns its head and tells you when to stop or go. If you move at all when you're not supposed to, you're out. When you're out, your squib goes off. It's like you got shot, like they do in the show, in the actual TV show. So what's really funny about it is, I mean, you must have had to sign a contract to be on the show, or agreed to do it in a dramatic way, because everybody literally, like, the squib goes off and they do a dramatic fall down and they lay there and they're dead. And so it's a trip. It's very much like Squid Game. There's a bunch of challenges that are very much like it. They very effectively build alliances and betray people and things like that. I mean, it's I think for the amount of money on the line, and then how the games work compared to the show, it's very similar. There's a couple, at least 4 or 5, that are taken directly from the show, and they work really great. But it's a lot of fun. I don't think you're going to have the twist afterwards that you have in the show. If you've never seen Squid Game, it's a little dark, a little bloody, because people are literally playing to survive and win money, and it's a trip. It's really fun. And now we're down to, like I said, my kids and I, we have one episode left, so we actually have the finale. There's only 3 people in the finale, and they're gonna play the Squid Game there at the very end. So we'll see how that goes, and who wins. So that's neat. You can find it on Netflix, just like you can find the original Squid Game. I actually recommend both. The reality show is fun. I mean, if you enjoy the TV show, it's a different take on it, but it's kind of cool to watch because they're real people. So, that, like I said, their deaths, deaths are a little over dramatic, but they work and they make it fun. So it's fun to see a challenge show like that. This week we watched the latest episode of Monarch, which is your Godzilla show, or not Godzilla, but MonsterVerse show. Like, it's not only Godzilla. As a matter of fact, I think they've only flashed a Godzilla a couple of times. He's only been there for a few minutes. And to be fair, Monarch is not about it's not about the monsters. I mean, the monsters are in there and it's what the people are doing, but the show is really about the people around or impacted by this Monarch organization that we've seen in some of these MonsterVerse movies. And this one is just kind of building on that family dynamic that we learned about early on, where these 2 characters share a father and they have no idea that their family, they shared a dad, and the father actually had 2 different wives and they didn't know. Like, there's a lot of drama around that, but it doesn't interfere with the story. It's more of what's driving the story between these 2 younger characters, and then Kurt Russell's in there a lot in this one. but it's good. It's really good. Like they do a good job giving you characters that you care about and putting them in this world where if you're into the American Godzilla MonsterVerse, it's a lot of fun. So I would say go watch this on Apple TV Plus. This last episode, they're stuck in Alaska, I believe is where they are. So they're dealing with the cold. There's a bunch of flashbacks to the sun, so you get a bunch of his story, and it's cool. It moves really fast, and I'm looking forward to the next, however many episodes they have. It's been a ton of fun. And that's that. So another thing that's cool, I wish that I had the time to go see it, but it is absolutely killing at the box office. I don't know about financially, but at least critically, Godzilla Minus One is out. Everybody that I know that has watched it has loved it. So it seems like it's really great. It is kind of a different take than we've seen in the last few movies. This one seems more like a vengeful Godzilla movie than kind of Godzilla the hero that we've seen in some of these other movies. But yeah, I would say if you can check it out, go check it out and let me know what you thought, because I probably won't see it till it's at home. But everything that I've seen says go see it on the big screen if you can, and it should be pretty awesome. So that's out there. Switching gears at home, we just finished a show called Jury Duty. It's on Amazon's Prime's free service, Freevee. So even if you don't have Prime or you're not paying for Prime, you can watch it. It's, I want to say, 8 episodes, and it's a really fun, kind of interesting show. So the premise of the show is this documentary crew, I'm going to say that in air quotes, we'll get to that. This documentary crew put out an ad in the paper asking for people that, get called for jury duty if they'd be interested in having a camera crew follow them around so we can get a real look at what jury duty is like. And so this guy answers the ad and decides to take them up on their offer and get paid to be part of a jury duty documentary. This guy is not an actor. Okay. Everybody else in the show is an actor. So it's one dude surrounded by a bunch of actors, and he has no idea. He thinks that he is actually on a jury duty, or sorry, yeah, he thinks he's an actual juror on jury duty and gets pulled into this crazy, weird trial with a bunch of very bizarre characters that are on the jury with him. And one of the jurors, I think he's actually an alternate juror, but he has to stay the whole time, is James Marsden from the X-Men movies. He played Cyclops. He's been in a bunch of other stuff. Like, he's a big deal. He's been around. And so he plays himself, and he plays this kind of caricature of himself. And it's really funny because he has to deal with this actor so much, this non-actor so much. And that's kind of the point, is they become, friends during the show, friends. And James, he doesn't suck, but he sucks a little. Like he's kind of an egotistical jerk, and it's hilarious. And what's cool is that you really, like, realistically, the show is 7 episodes. At the end of the 7th episode, they break it to the dude. They're like, hey, this was not real. And so the whole 8th episode is them kind of walking him through all the things that they had to do to make it feel real. And they talk about how, just the hoops that they had to jump through as actors to keep him from figuring it out. And it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It's slow in parts because it's got that documentary feel, but it's so ridiculous, so preposterous, and when they're interviewing the dude during the run, he even says that he's like jury duty can't actually be like this. He's like, it's so crazy, it's so weird. And they just kind of roll with it and move on and do the things they do. And it's pretty fantastic, actually. It's a lot of fun. And the guy had a lot of fun with it. And it seems like he has stayed friends with some of the people that he was on jury duty with. They were, like I said, they were actors. Most of them are small actors. There's one dude in there that I've seen before. I feel like if I was in this guy's position and I was put on the show, I would have known something was up, because I would have recognized this guy that was not James Marsden. But it's otherwise a really fun show and really cool. And I like I said, I think it's neat to see especially like that last episode when you can see the things that the actors had to go through to kind of roll with the punches that this dude threw out, and how interested he got in the in this fake case, this fake court case, and it's really cool. And then, funny enough, just this week, there was an announcement that he got a kind of producer's gig with Amazon Prime. So he's going to be working behind the scenes on a couple other shows. I don't know if they're going to be reality shows like this. I don't know if they're just going to take his experience and work with it. That's the other thing. Like, he didn't know he was in a competition of any kind or anything like that. But he got, I want to say, 100 grand. I want to say they gave him 100 grand to just for being a good sport and going through with this and not knowing that it was not real. So it'll be interesting to see where his newfound career goes. He's just starting with Amazon now, so we'll see what happens. Next up, and probably maybe the last thing that I've watched is I just kicked off a show. I think it's on Netflix, and it's called Bodies. And this one is a trip. It takes place. So I've only watched the first episode, so I have more to go. It's well made. It moves kind of fast because what it does is it jumps between timelines. In the first episode, you see 3 distinct timelines. And what is happening is there is a murder that occurs in the same fashion, in the same place, in these 3 different times. And every time that a body is found, like right before it's found, there seems to be like an electrical surge or something like that. The lights in the city explode, and then there's a body. Again, this is the first episode, so there's no indication that these 3 different eras are communicating with each other, like Notebook style or something like that. Like, it's just 3 different separate crimes that now have to be worked that are the same crime in 3 different eras. And at the end of the first episode, we actually find out there's even a 4th era that is in the future. And it's a trip. Like, the acting's really good. It's a cool story. It's a cool idea. Like, I'm all for twisty turny, timey wimey stuff. So to see where that goes will be really cool. I think I'm just excited for it. I think it's, like I said, good acting goes a long way. It's an interesting and intriguing story idea. I hope it doesn't. Well, I don't want to say I hope it doesn't. It probably shouldn't get too like intertwined. Like, I don't know that I want to see these people communicate with each other like they did on a show like Dark, where they actually started to interact with each other. This doesn't feel like a show where they should do that. It feels more like a show where, I kind of want to see if this is the late 1800s, they deal with a crime this way. If this is the 60s, they deal with a crime this way. If it's the current 2020, they deal with the crime this way. And so to see the different ways that that forensics or investigation or things like that work, I think would be really cool. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited for it. It's on Netflix. It's been really popular for them this year. So it's rated out really well for them. So I definitely recommend it and say, go give it a shot and see what you think. And that's really the bulk of what I've got. Me and the family have started a New Girl rewatch, so we're watching some of that. We're going through the Harry Potter films because it's Christmas time, and obviously those are Christmas films. I will be watching Die Hard at some point this holiday season, but I won't watch it until Christmas Eve. Home Alone will obviously watch. We got a recommendation from Ari, one of our viewers, who suggested that we do a holiday episode. So I'm going to try and squeeze that in before the end of the holiday season here and see if we can come up with something good for that. We'll probably talk about all that stuff. I know hopefully Jen will be on soon. There's a new Jennifer Garner movie called Family Switch that just came out. That's a take on, like, not Parent Trap. What's the one where they swap bodies? Anyways, it's a body swap film. So this one is the full family. So the dad switches with the son, the mom switches with the daughter, and they have to deal with that stuff and whatever, magic voodoo thing made it happen. It hasn't done really great in the ratings, but Jen said she really enjoyed it. I'm a big Jennifer Garner fan, so I'm going to give it a shot. So if we can get her before or on next episode, my thing is if it's anywhere near as fun as 13 Going on 30, I'll be happy. Her husband is played by Ed Helms, and so got a lot of comedy chops there. I think Jennifer Garner is naturally funny. She's done a lot of drama in her career, but she's a really funny actress, a really, really funny person. So I think it'll be fun to see her in this part. So I'm excited for that one. Another one that might be worth watching. Eddie Murphy is back in a movie, and this one is on Prime, and it's called Candy Cane Lane. I don't know if it's good or not. Might be. So that one's coming out. Reacher season 2. If you watch season 1, was awesome. So season 2 of Reacher comes out December 15th. So that's coming soon. On the 20th of December on Disney Plus, they're doing a new Percy Jackson and the Olympians TV series. The scuttlebutt out there is that it should be pretty solid, and it's based on the book series, and from everything that I've seen, should be better than the movie that they made several years ago. I think they're going to take it a little slower, spread it out over several episodes, over several seasons if they can. So we'll see how that turns out. December 22nd, we have the new season of Marvel's What If. So that'll be really cool. That one is 9 episodes, and they're going to actually air it. I think we talked about it, but they're going to air it over 9 separate days. So that'll be interesting to see. I think there's really only one Christmas episode in there, but otherwise it's primarily just What If. So I think that one will be a lot of fun to see. If you're at all a Letterkenny fan, the final season of Letterkenny drops on December 26th. It is the end of a very funny era there. So if you like Letterkenny at all, watch it. If you don't, or if you've never seen it, give it a shot. It's a very different show, but it's hilarious, and it's on Netflix. So Hulu. So go give that a shot. I really feel like there was one more show that I can't remember, but I don't know what it is. So I don't know. Keep your eye out for stuff. Another cool trailer that dropped, if you're into it. Funny enough, I'm not. We had this discussion on the podcast chat, but the Furiosa trailer dropped. It looks very much like a Mad Max movie. I tried to watch the first Mad Max and just couldn't get into it. Funny enough, Pete couldn't either, so I don't feel like I'm out there on an island, but also I'm on the same island with Pete, so kind of a wash there. But this looks like more of that type of film, and I know most people did like Mad Max, and they very much like Furiosa. This is a telling of a younger Furiosa story, and it looks really cool. Chris Hemsworth is in it and looks almost completely unrecognizable. So I think that's kind of neat. I don't know if his role is dramatic or over the top. It looks like it might be a little over the top. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, and that's going to be a crazy weekend, because that same weekend is when Planet of the Apes drops, and there's one other movie in there. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, that's all I've got. If I can plug the Marvels one more time. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you've seen it once, go see it a second time. Love to see that make a little more money so people can stop complaining about it being a flop. I think it's a fun movie. I thought it was really good. And that's all I've got. So with that, I will say thank you for watching. The podcast hopefully will be up on audio. So thank you for listening, and have a great week, and we'll see you next time.